here's what Tree Living had to say on, the latest between himself, the Leafs, and John Tavares and his camp.
We've had lots of communication. I would say you're always a little bit hesitant to frame it. I'm trying to give as much information as can. But it's been positive, right? As I think we said at the end of the year, you've got a player who we both expressed a shared outcome, which is John wants to stay and we want to keep John. And like any contract, there's only usually just two little stumbling blocks: term and money. Once you get by those, usually things flow pretty quick. So we're moving, hopefully in a direction to bring it to closure. My hope is until proven otherwise that we'll have a good outcome there.
So, I mean, listen, he's putting his cards on the table. I have not heard him say, like, we want John back. I know John has said he wants to be back.
I think that was a roundabout way of saying, well, something could get done here, but this could turn quickly and he could be gone.
I mean, I took it. That's the first time they've openly admitted, to me, that was cryptic. Like, we got something done here, and it's just a matter of sorting it out. I that's what I took out of it.
I kind of see it that way too. Like, I'm sure they're still crossing some T's and dotting some I's, and there's still, maybe a little bit of gap between the money and the term. But that tone would suggest it's reasonable to say that they're within a ballpark of each other, and. Again, that's what we have heard, that the Leafs wanted to likely keep Tavares, but that's Tree Living saying, on the record, we want to keep him. We want him to be here. So, he hasn't said that about Marner that I'm aware of. He doesn't have to because it doesn't matter what he thinks. Marner's going to leave. Marner's a free agent. He's going to hit UFA status and go. But, yeah, that would suggest to me the fact that, John is going to likely return and Matthews will return and Nylander will return. It's not going to be that different, guys. I guess that's what I'm getting to. Like, yes, Marner's not going to be here, and that's big. And Marner's been a huge part of this market for a decade.
Yeah.
But that's about it, man. Like, there'll be a couple of changes, and there might be a new player or two in, but it's not going to be that different here in Toronto.
Well, I hope they just use that money wisely. That's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see what they have in store over the next few days.
Yeah.
All right, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline, here's Hockey Hall of Famer Chris Pronger back on Overdrive. How you doing, Prongs?
I'm great, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing well. We were just talking about Brad Tree Living, speaking about John Tavares, and we've been talking about him for years and certainly weeks leading up to this. So I'm curious how you evaluate John and what you would project him to look like and play like and how he might produce over the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, I think he's never been a great skater. He's a smart player. He's not a burner, so to speak. I look at him, he's Corey Perry. He's Corey Perry-esque in the sense that he's good around the net. He's not afraid to go in and around the net. That's where he scores a lot of his goals. Half wall in the power play, can be the bumper, can be on the half wall, can be the down low guy. Versatile on the power play. But I think as he continues to age, he's going to be a power play guy. He's going to be a power play specialist, and he's a third line center with his pace that he plays at, and watching the finals and watching the playoffs play out. The pace of the game is only going north. It's not going the other direction. And,
Prongs, if you were to assume, like if you, when talking about John Tavares, would you think that his biggest desire or reason to return to Toronto is he likes being a Maple Leaf and all the things that come with it? Or do you think that he has this maniacal, burning desire to finish the job and win a Stanley Cup?
To me, he seems like a really quiet guy. So I'm not going to speak for him. I get the sense one of the reasons why he came back to Toronto is he wanted to win in Toronto. He wanted to be a part of the group that ultimately got him over the hump and got him a Stanley Cup. They've had 7 years since he's been there, and they haven't been able to get over that hump. This year they, ran into a buzzsaw in Florida, and yes, we can go into the whole ordeal of how it happened, but I think he's comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that he wants to move. I don't know if that's comfort in the sense that he just doesn't want to uproot his family because he's comfortable living in Toronto and he's from there, or he sees something within the locker room, within the current formation of the team that gives him the comfort that he thinks they can win. Whether he's right or wrong, I don't know. They're obviously, as you guys were just talking about, they're going to lose Marner, and what they do with that money and how they improve their team and what flexibility, they still got to sign Nyes. They've got some players that they need to sign. They're in pretty good shape everywhere else. They need to improve their top 9. They've got to get more scoring, in this year and in years past.
More balance.
The issue hasn't been defense. It's been scoring goals at the key times, in those moments when they've been needed the most. And that's when they've really struggled, is at that opportunistic time when you need a big goal, when you're supposed to be relying on your stars to find those big goals. They're not able to do it.